Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Seth Nagel, Assistant Director for Annual Giving, and I'll be moderating tonight's Q&A session. With us, we have our volleyball head coach, Christina Robertson, and Director of Athletics, Brian Barrio. And before I turn it over to both Christina and Brian for introductions, I want to let you know that we'll be going through a number of questions that you've submitted prior to the start of this session. If you're with us live and have additional questions, please feel free to use the chat function in the Q&A feature, and we'll get to as many questions as we can this evening. Now, I'll go ahead and turn it over to head coach Christina Robertson for a brief introduction.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am very excited about this opportunity to speak with you all and hopefully get to know you better. Thank you so much to our athletic director, Brian Barrio, for this excellent idea and for the great leadership that he provides daily for us. We are so lucky to be a part of such a great organization, and I'm so happy to share with you all the great things that we are building here. Thank you, Seth, for moderating this. And I know Liz has been working behind the scenes to make this happen. So thank you guys very much. This is very exciting.
Seth, thanks for being here and hosting, and certainly thank you to everybody who's joining us tonight. It's so difficult to not be able to do these things in person, but on the flip side, it's a great opportunity for us to kind of meet you where you are, and for those who have families or other things going on, it's a lot easier to jump on a Zoom call like this or WebEx call like this and spend a little time with us. But we really appreciate you taking the time to do it, and hopefully we'll have some fun.
And thank you both for joining us. So with that, we'll go ahead and dive right into the questions, like I said, that were submitted beforehand. Coach, can you tell us, one, how the team is doing and how all of your student athletes have adapted to the new COVID procedures? You know, the college experience is a little bit different right now from those that may be on this call. So if you want to talk about just how the team is doing and then how your student athletes have adapted to the COVID procedures.
Yes, our team is doing a phenomenal job balancing their academics, athletics, and social lives during these tough times. The fact that we had to be without each other in volleyball for so long, since March, made us more appreciative about being here and getting the privilege to train together on campus. Our administrators have been going above and beyond to make sure we are ready to not just practice, but stay healthy so we can finish our fall season safely. We have adapted to the COVID procedures relatively quickly, and we definitely wanted to stay compliant, so everyone's efforts of having us here were not in vain. We are very proud of how mature this group is and how they keep striving and pushing daily to become the best that they can be. It takes a lot of discipline and courage to follow the rules, especially at this young age, and our team has done a remarkable job. The support that we have been had all around has definitely kept us balanced and willing to do great. So we keep going and we don't disappoint anyone.
Yeah, I'll chime in there. I mean, it truly is remarkable. You know, not just our volleyball student athletes, but all of our student athletes have done such a great job following these protocols on campus. And for those of you who are alums, I'm presuming that most of the people listening are either alums or maybe parents. You have no idea how tough this life is on campus right now. And those that are going through it and following the rules, they're doing it because they'll do anything that they have to do to play their sport. And it's truly a sign of committed young people. And so as I've stopped by the practices the last few weeks and had a chance to catch up with a lot of our student athletes, I mean, you can see it. That time on the court or on the field, in this case on the court, more than ever before is the best part of the day. I'm positive of that. You can see it in their faces. And what they're doing the rest of the day, they are working very hard and sacrificing a lot to play their sport. And we're really proud of them and also of our coaches for communicating that message and keeping them on task. So it's been challenging, but it's also been pretty impressive to see from these young people.
Thanks, Brian. And Coach, to follow up on the COVID procedures and the sacrifices that Brian had just alluded to there, what are you doing to keep the mental health a priority during this time for your team?
Yeah, it has indeed been a stressful and hard year for everyone, not just our volleyball team, and it definitely can take a toll on our mental health, especially when we had to give up so much. We didn't even know we had so much until now, especially with our social lives. We are social human beings. We like interactions, and fortunately, we have been mature enough to understand why we have to go to online learning and why we had to forego that interaction with our classmates, why we have to stay in our own bubble during this time, and why it's so important to take care of one another. As coaches, we consistently check in with them beyond just the volleyball courts and our daily interactions. We try to do different activities during the weekend, such as cooking together, doing lunches together, playing games, hanging out at the park, sightseeing, somewhere where it's low cost and safe for us to be. And then the team always gets together to watch movies together, to do a little bit of shopping or window shopping, studying, hang out alone and just be with each other. And we are here for each other, and the team really knows that they can rely on anyone to get them through anything they need to, from us as coaches and then administration all around. They know that their efforts are here and they're here for them.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, and
that,
I'd say,
yeah, go ahead. No, after you.
no, I was gonna say across the department, we realized very early in this, in this pandemic that mental health was going to be one of the toughest challenges to navigate, and we all felt it. So we certainly knew that the 19 and 20-year-olds on our teams were going to feel it. And in the spring, when I had to meet with the spring teams and let them know that their season wasn't going to continue, which was not, which is a really challenging moment. You could see it in those teams right in that time that this was like it was a grieving process. And when you're going through a grieving process and you're going through a loss, your life's not normal, and you don't have maybe the thing that gives you the most strength as a college athlete, as all of you know. You need help. You need somebody to talk to. You need an outlet, and so we've really tried hard. I think on the staff side, because I think that was part of the question. On the staff side, I think we're really trying to look out for each other, because what we've all noticed in the department is that folks you'd never think are having a tough time right now. And we're trying to make sure that we're watching out for each other, that we're sharing resources. The campus has wonderful resources in terms of employee assistance, and we're watching out for that. But we're also trying to create a network within the department where we're all taking care of each other. And for the student athletes, we've done things like we've brought sports psychologists to talk to several of our teams, which has been helpful in terms of how do you keep a positive attitude when your season's canceled, and all of a sudden you're facing 6 months of practice with no competition. And Christina certainly knows how that feels right now. And they're halfway through it, which is awesome. But that's a mental challenge for any athlete, right? You've taken away your measuring stick, and now how do I measure myself and get better this fall? And so that's something we've tried to address with teams. But on the more mental wellness side, we've also contracted to bring in a mental health counselor to be available to student athletes that we didn't have before. So that's a resource that they have I think on a weekly basis now, to have somebody to listen and talk to. And so we're trying everything we can to support student athletes. But it's from the outside, that may not be the first thing you think of. But I can assure you, on a college campus right now, with all these restrictions on movement and restrictions on activities, mental health and emotional well-being are certainly at risk, and we're aware of it and doing everything we can to help, and also hoping this ends sooner than later so we can all feel more healthy.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you shedding a little more light on that. Coach, how does your freshman class look for this year?
The incoming class has been a great addition to the returners. They are a great fit both academically and athletically, and definitely socially, because they're not doing anything. They have great work ethic, they're great people skills, and they definitely have a huge motivation to be here and to succeed, because it's been a hard process through this COVID era to land into a Division I team. They bought in right away into our team culture, and our returners have definitely helped them integrate quickly into our family. They're great people who appreciate the opportunity of competing here at UMBC. And as Brian said, we're really, really excited to get to a season, hopefully a spring season, to compete a little bit, to kind of see what we're made of. But overall, really great incoming class.
And since Seth, since Christina brought that up, I'm sorry to talk over you. But since Christina brought up the freshman class, they will compete in the spring. You know, so folks know that there will be competition in the spring. Work really hard as an institution and as a conference to try and put together a plan for how that's going to work. And it's not going to be easy, but we're going to make sure. And I came to practice the other day and told the young ladies on the team, there's going to be a trophy. You're going to have a chance to win it. And we're going to make sure that you get as much of a competitive experience as possible. And the other thing, which is kind of the cherry on top of the sundae, is that they do also have the opportunity to get another year of competition back, because the NCAA did grant a waiver. So whether and it's going to individually depend who uses it here, who may use it somewhere else, who may not use it at all. But there's some good things happening. So we're excited about that.
Coach, you had mentioned how the freshman class is kind of bought into the culture. Do you mind expanding on that a little bit and just talk about the culture of the volleyball program right now?
Yes, absolutely. As I was stating above, we have laid down a strong foundation for our UMBC volleyball, and our motto, our tag is to create your legacy. One of the meanings of it is to leave this place in a much better way than you have found it and make an impact for the future generations who will join our volleyball family. So we created a good culture where people respect each other, hold each other accountable, trust each other, and are open with one another, where we do things with a lot of honor, discipline, and hard work and commitment. We take ownership of our team and our team values, and we strive to be the best that we can and create friendships that will last a lifetime. We are very fortunate, and we're working really hard to bring people in who do fit in this healthy culture, because I think it's really important to be successful to just be in this.
Great, thank you. And Brian, this next question that came in is for you. As the new director of athletics, what do the next 5 years look like for UMBC athletics as a whole, and then volleyball specifically?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about it up top, but and I don't know if you can see other side, if you can see behind me, but part of my helmet collection from my past is from USC, and there's a volleyball there from Pepperdine, and I'm probably more of a volleyball-oriented athletic director than you'd ever get on the East Coast, for sure. I spent a big chunk of my career in Southern California, where volleyball's like extremely important, and I consider it extremely important, and I don't know in terms of goals, and I know I'm probably stepping on the next question here, but Christina, you can't see it because it's right above me here, but Christina, you can tell them about the picture frame. Tell them about the picture frame.
We are missing one from volleyball, and that was part of the negotiation that we are adding one very soon, and hopefully in the spring 2021, we are definitely needing to fill in so it doesn't look so unbalanced, right?
So when I got here, there were framed pictures, and you can probably see them up in the corner of my screen. There were framed pictures of every sport, but then there's an empty one where volleyball should be. So I'm leaving it empty, and I told Christina, and I've told the women on the team as well. That's for the championship picture, and so we're gonna fill the frame. That's the goal. And in all seriousness, I've been. I was the volleyball administrator at America East, over a decade ago, and so I've been around this league, and Christine and I have talked about it, and like I said, I've been around volleyball nationally, and there's no question in my mind we can win the championship in this league, and that we can be a real force in this league. We've got a facility that's absolutely second to none. If you haven't, if you're an alum from prior to the last few years and you haven't been back, this facility is off the charts good, and we've got a great coach. We've got scholarships. We've got everything we need, and we're going to win championships here. And that's we're not going to compromise on that goal. I know Christina feels the same way. She comes from programs that won championships that didn't just settle for the middle of the pack, and that's not what we want to do. So I'm excited to do whatever it takes to get this thing where we want to be and bring home that trophy, because there's nothing in our way in this conference that can't be moved. So in terms of volleyball, that's where I'm coming from. in terms of the department, a few things. One, one is what we're doing right here, alumni engagement. I think there's been a little bit of a gap in terms of, we obviously have a great group of alumni, and we have some who are very active and come around, and then we've got, I think we've got a real, I don't know, opportunity, I'd call it, with our alums from the last 15 to 20 years. Where the folks who come to our games typically, you come to a basketball game and go to the pregame party upstairs, and I love everybody there, but they're all over 65, and I would love to see our younger alums feel more comfortable. That's on us to make you feel more comfortable coming back and coming home, and that's what we're trying to do with this is let everybody out there know who played here or who had a son or daughter who played here that you're part of this family, that you can come back and nobody's going to ask you who you are. You belong. And you don't have to do more than that. Just come back to campus and we'll give you an opportunity to be part of what we're doing. And so the fact that you're willing to come out and listen to this, or if you're listening to it live or on tape, it's that means everything to me. And that's what we want to grow. And Seth and I have worked very closely. Seth's kind of our point person in terms of alumni connection. And we're going to do everything we can to develop a real family atmosphere here with our alums, so that they want to come back and that you want to come back. And when we fill that picture frame, hopefully you're in the background in the stands cheering. And that's what we're trying to do. And so the goal number one for me, literally number one, is to grow that alumni community to the point where we're an elite school in terms of that kind of support. The second thing, and Christina talked a little bit about, is culture. I'm a big believer in culture. I know people talk about it. I really think it's something you got to live every day. And I hope folks working with me, and I know our coaches are buying into it, understand that we're serious about it. And part of that is letting recruits know, and hopefully there'll be a few recruits listening to this, but when I talk to recruits and their parents when they come to campus, and I like to meet with them, and I think I've already met with some for Christina, I think the important conversation is, look, everywhere you go, you get this pitch, and if you're a student athlete, you've heard this, hey, here at such and such university, we care about the student as much as the athlete, because you're a student athlete. What I always say is that's ignoring the biggest part of you, which is the third part. And that's your faith, your family, all the other things that are important, whatever's important to you in your life outside of this. We want to develop you as a person. We want you to leave here a better and a more complete person than when you came in. And if our coaches aren't doing that, we're not doing our jobs. And Christina's heard me say this. For our coaches, if your athletes aren't coming back 5 years later and inviting you to their wedding, you're doing something wrong. Like, you got to be a part. You got to make yourself enough of a part of their life and an important piece of their growth that they don't want that moment to go by without you there. And so that's the kind of culture we want to have. And I think I'm a big, big believer that when you have that kind of culture, the winning comes next. So, like, I'm not focused on specifically winning as a goal, because I know it will come if we build the right culture. And then the third thing, obviously, everywhere, always and forever, we can always improve our facilities. And I think that we're blessed to high heaven with the event center. So I don't think we can improve the event center very much right now, but we can certainly, our outdoor facilities have a ways to go. I think there's some things we could do for some of our outdoor sports in terms of facilities. There's always improvements we can make in terms of operations. So, we're gonna, and Seth knows this because we talk about it every day. We're gonna grow the sources of revenue we need to add to the facilities, to add to the operations, and give our coaches more and more opportunity to win. So, and the other thing they'll kill me if I don't add this, and I mean it. Another part of the culture is making sure that we do it the UMBC way, so that academics is truly important to us. Like I said before, personal development is really important to us, but this is a place where academics matter. You talk to our president for 2 minutes, as all of you I'm sure have. He cares deeply about academics, and athletics never trumps that, and that's important to me, and it's important to us. So that's a little bit of that's a snapshot.
And Coach, while we're on the topic of goals, what are 2 or 3 goals for your volleyball program over the next 3 to 5 years? More of some short-term goals for you.
Yeah, since we can't even think what we're doing next week, planning for the next 3-5 years sounds fantastic. But of course, we always have plans and goals, and my philosophy is as much as Brian's, and I would definitely like to keep fostering this healthy environment where everyone is able to grow and become great leaders in society, proud alumni of UMBC, proud ambassadors, where, at the end of their career, if they were asked, if you had the choice all over again, they would say like, absolutely, I would still choose UMBC all over. And I would like to position ourselves where we win America East every year and get pictures for Brian and compete into NCAA as far as we can go, and nonetheless graduating everyone and have them as mentors of the newcomers in the years to be. I think those three are at like the core of everything that I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. And as Brian says, you know, it's not just the student athletes. I do care about you. I do care about you as a person. I do care about you as who's behind that jersey. I want to know your story, and I want to let you know my story. So like that, we can create something wonderful. And winning and all that is gonna come if you have that group of people who love each other and care about each other.
Christina, you played in the NCAA tournament when you were at Lone, right?
I have, yes.
Yes. You know, and our teams at Pepperdine and USC were in it. And to me, that's, you know, in any sport, that motivates me as an athletic director so much, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you're going into that, when the bus is leaving and everybody's outside cheering you on. I want our athletes to feel that. I want nobody to leave here without having that feeling. And so like, yeah, it's just, and it's such a great motivator. And right now, the girls on our team haven't had it yet. And I know just as much. I know you feel this way, and I feel the same way, and I'm sure Seth does too. I want to be out there cheering that bus on. We'll be on the bus with you if COVID's better by then. But you know, absolutely want them to leave here with that feeling.
Yes.
And Coach, I'll go ahead and pass the virtual microphone back to you. Brian had touched on, you know, enhancing alumni engagement. I'm curious, do you have any plans of how you plan to enhance alumni engagement for the volleyball alums?
Yeah, I mean, I would love for everyone to get in touch with me, to get to know each other better. I would love for you guys to be mentors to us and keep being a part of our growing family, to come see us whenever we travel. I know these times are tough, but we are going to get out of this. And, you know, whenever we'll have matches away or home, to come say hi to us. I would love to meet you and your families. I would love to keep having our spring alumni match, obviously every spring, our fall match where the alumni come back and we get together, we recognize you guys. I would like to have a gathering during the homecoming weeks, developing a monthly letter to keep you updated with what we're doing here. And obviously we would love to hear from you as much as we can and get your support for years to come, to let us know what would you like more from us? How can we help you better? I would love for this, you know, these kids, because they're kids, you know, I mean, they're in college, they think they're grown-ups, but to see what wonderful women you are and what you have done after being a volleyball player here, and with the education, like how has your life turned out after that? Because I know most of you are doing brilliant things, and I've had the opportunity to meet a few of you. But please, I know you haven't played for me. Not all of you have played for me. I'm relatively new, but I'm here to embrace everyone. I love it when people come back to their college, and I would love to develop a relationship with you, because I think we'll have great things to celebrate for, and we definitely can have a great time together as well.
And I'll just quickly add, for those that were able to attend the State of the Department event last week, we did officially launch our Retriever Letter Winners Club, which is an exclusive alumni network for student athletes. And I'll quickly say, if you want to visit our website, umbcretrievers.com, you can find more information there. But we plan to use that as an engine to more effectively communicate with you all, keep you involved with the program, as well as other benefits. And Brian, moving forward here.
Seth, are we able to put a link in the follow-up email to the Letter Winners Club? Is that something we can do?
We can, yes. Yep, it's actually a free membership, so we can go ahead and put that registration form in the follow-up email.
We really want, if you played a sport here at all, ever, we want you to join this club and sign up and be part of it. It doesn't cost you anything. It'll give you exclusive benefits. You know, we're hammering out exactly how that's all going to look, but it's the kind of thing where we'll probably have an exclusive event for letter winners at our homecoming event, or we'll have another one at a tailgate in the spring or a basketball game. And it's just an opportunity to come back and, you know, really formally be a part of that society of former student athletes here. And so please, please, please follow that link and sign up. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, and it'll be a way to stay formally connected with us, which would mean a ton to us.
Thanks, Brian. And moving on to the next question that came in, fundraising is a priority in order to move things forward at UMBC. How do you see this playing out for the volleyball program and the athletics general fund?
You want me to field that one? That's probably an AD question, right?
Yes, sorry. I handed the virtual microphone back to you.
This is so there's two things. One, how do we generate the revenue we need to generate? And two, what are our plans to get better when we bring that in? Because to me, I'm obviously like you, I'm an alum of a college, and I get those letters, and I go, my first question is what kind of an impact is this going to make? And one of the frustrating things for me over the years has been, you give and you give and you give, and you really don't know what kind of impact you're making. One of the I think benefits of being at a program our size and a community our size, I can promise you that you're going to make a significant impact with any gift you give us. And whether it's through Giving Day or other campaigns or one-off gifts or whatever it may be, we can really highlight for you how you're helping us get better. Our coaches have to fundraise operationally. So part of their operational budgets are fundraised dollars that come from the generosity of folks like you. But also those improvements and the things we want to do. If we want to do an alternate jersey, if we want to do an extra trip, or whatever it may be, we're fundraising for it. Things like foreign tours and all the perks that you want to be able to give student athletes. Those are the extras, and those are the things that we have to get creative to fund. And I do think Seth did a tremendous job last year. I think we doubled the Giving Day total from the previous year, and we want to double it again. And I'm telling Seth that for the first time right now. We want to double that again, and we want to keep engaging our alums in a way that you're making a difference to today's student athletes. That you probably met some of the donors and folks that helped you in your career have a great experience at UMBC, and it's kind of a virtuous cycle, right? We want people to leave here and feel real gratitude for the folks who made it happen for them, and then they'll get established in their careers, and years from now look back and say, hey, there's great kids doing what I did, and I want to help them. And if we can build that kind of culture, then it'll fuel itself. And so that's really what we're trying to do. And I probably jumped the gun on this question earlier, talking about some of the things we'd like to do in terms of facilities and operations. But I think in volleyball, and we've talked a little bit about this, but I think in volleyball the things you're trying to do are, again, those extras. It's let us take a trip to Florida or California. Let us go on a foreign tour. Let us get an alternate uniform to wear for Dig Pink or whatever it may be. But all these little extras that make the experience better for student athletes, those are the things those are the things we'll need your help with. And we certainly won't be shy about asking. But we also, we recognize that financial gifts of any size are wonderful. It's also wonderful when you listen to something like this, or when you open an email from me or from Seth or from Christina. Just being engaged with us and being part of the community, you're going to make other people feel welcome, and that's valuable too.
Coach, I did have one more question that came in here that I'll direct towards you. So it starts with, I went to one of my first volleyball matches last year. I was instantly hooked with the power, the speed, and the energy of the game. What would you tell someone who has never been to a match to get them to come out and watch a game for the first time?
Well, I think we have our support staff have been, besides the volleyball, that's remarkable, and obviously the speed, the power, the athleticism of these women is incredible, right? But we have, along with our great facilities, we have a great environment, a very family-friendly environment. We have a nice board where our media people, along with Zach, are putting nice things to get to know our players, to get to know our coaches. I'm a little camera shy, so you need to know me in person. I don't really put it on the video, but we do all these things behind the scenes. They are very entertaining. We're trying to bring in different groups to dance, sing, do tricks for us between the second and third. And there's always just a great general atmosphere. We do autographs after the matches where you can see the girls, ask them questions, hang with them one-on-one as much as the time affords. We try to give out, t-shirts, posters. We have a lot of promotion gifts for every, for every match. So yes, come watch us play, and we guarantee you'll have a great experience because they're fun to watch, and it's also really fun to interact with us at the end of the match.
The athleticism is incredible, and I'm constantly amazed. Like I see a spike come down, and then I see somebody dig it, and I'm like, how is it humanly possible that they're doing this? So it's the athleticism is incredible. But the other thing that's great about women's volleyball, if you haven't watched a lot of it, is the energy of the team and the celebration after every point, and like just the level of, like, to me, I have a young daughter who plays some sports, and I love bringing her to a volleyball match. I like bringing my son to a volleyball match so they can see that level of teamwork and energy, because it's awesome. And you don't see that body language in every sport, and across the board in women's volleyball, you always see it. So that's a great element too for when you bring your kids.
Great, thank you both there. So those are all the questions that we have in the live Q&A chat for this evening, and that were also sent to us beforehand. So I'll hand the virtual microphone back to both of you for closing remarks.
First, because I want Christina to have the last word. But first of all, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening and watching. And the two things I would ask as an alum are, like I said, stay engaged, join the Letter Winners Club, open our emails, stay in touch with us, come back and visit. And something like this, share it. Share it on social media, share it with your teammates. If you're engaged still with UMBC and UMBC volleyball, you're connected to 15 teammates from back when you played, and hopefully you can get them back connected as well and help us spread the word. So please share and share often, and thank you.
Yes, no, thank you again for taking the time to being here or listening to us. This is a great opportunity, and we hope to do more of these things like in the future. I definitely look forward to seeing everyone and their families hopefully soon. Please contact me, email me, call me, Facebook me, Insta me. I'm hip like that. I don't do Snapchat, but besides that, I'm on all of it. Please, we need you. We need you. We do need mentors for our teams. As I said, you guys are unbelievable. What you're doing with your lives is incredible, and these kids are looking up to you. These kids are worried about the future after, so we really, really need you. We need your support. You are very important to us, and I'm really happy that Brian and Seth truly believe in Alumni Connection, because that's something amazing. That's something amazing. It's like a big family, and please come join our family. Come say hi. Bring your families, and let's grow this together. I think it'll be unbelievable as I said, for our kids to see you guys. It'll be unbelievable. Thank you again for everything, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you both, Christina and Brian, for your time and joining us tonight. And again, we'll send a follow-up email that will include a recording of this event this evening. As Brian had mentioned, please feel free to pass it along and share it with any of your former teammates or anybody that may just want to take a peek at UMBC volleyball and an inside look, as well as the Letter Winners Club information. I'll echo what they said. I appreciate you all attending this evening. Have a great rest of your night, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Have a great night, guys.
Go Dogs.